there's something called the adaptation principle. It keeps coming up my mind, and it talks about, humans' ability to adapt to certain things and environments and whatnot. And Jonathan Haidt, in his book, the Happiness Hypothesis, he talks about this, and he says there's a select few things that humans can't adapt to. And one of those, he says, is a lack of control. Now, an example of this, right, and I'm paraphrasing a study here, they had two sets of groups of people, older people, who were living in a nursing home, and they gave them the choice to either choose where the plants and things went in the room, or that it was done for them, and they measured their happiness over time. And the ones that could control where things go showed to be, it was a ridiculous amount of more happy than the other people, right? Happiness, well-being, I know they're probably different, but the happiness overall was vastly improved. So I wonder, like, what seems to me that, in the India example that you gave, that people, they find a way to get back into control, right? And I don't mean control in like I want to control the situation. I mean, in the sense of like feeling autonomy. Like if I can't control my environment around me, I'm control how I solve problems. I'm going to control this. Has that been your experience with people?
Yeah, again, even in the Uganda example, I know findings have often been the biggest shifts have been that they've been able to make decisions in their home or in their community, and how that correlates with well-being as well. So again, just that, we might call it empowerment, but that sense of control over your life. And yeah, if you lose control, I can imagine. I think we probably all feel that a little bit with different aspects of our lives too, like when you're under financial pressure and things, and the Reserve Bank keeps trying to interest things, that feels a bit out of control, and that creates stress in our life. So that's definitely something we've seen in our findings as well.
There's also, weirdly as well, which is not that weird when you think about it, but one of the other things was consistent noise, like repeating noise. Like people who lived next to like pedestrian crossing, where it makes that noise, like the doom 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 doom, like that was something that people couldn't live with, and the quality couldn't, like it decreased the quality of their life. This is what the study showed. And also, what was it? Commuting. Like people don't get used to it. They don't adapt to commuting like every single day. Like it's a slog. Which is, I find that interesting, because I think that maybe in these studies they didn't like account for people's capacity to do things about that, if that makes sense. Like like people would go and buy like thicker windows or something like that to block the noise, or to listen to a podcast on the way to work and things like that. I think it's just that one thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, or I wonder if the study itself made them aware of that, and they were like, yeah, I can hear that every day, that is really, and it becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that way. Maybe that's not right, but yeah, just the study itself could have brought that realization to them.
We'll always wonder with studies like that, because it's so hard to like I said, the controlled group of people doing a controlled thing. Obviously all studies are different, I get it, like there's complexities I'm not mentioning here, but it's like when we take someone out of their natural environment, unnatural things happen, if that makes sense. And from what I've seen, like going into communities and what I've heard stories about, I haven't done it myself, but people tell me about going to communities and things are very different to how they ought to be or how they should be.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there's any examples that come to mind of that, but I guess kind of experienced that in my own life as well. But yeah.